Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 7th, and this is QOL pre-market analysis. Just going to start off with a little plug here on things. Go to our website here, QOLtrading.com, and put your name and your email address in here. I also put it here in the chat. And you will get you'll be on the subscription list for our pre-market our newsletter that we put out every Sunday. And what you will get in the newsletter is the market recap of the week, what's to expect for the following week, levels, your ES levels, your Qs, SpaceX, Tesla, crude oil, everything. I talk about geopolitical stuff that's happening in the world. And then I talk about what's expected for next week. You see I've got Iran information there. And then I've got my own opinions on the markets. Now, mind you, this is all educational. It's all my opinions. Please do your own homework on things. Don't come back to me and say, oh, you said this, you said that. However, a lot of the times you'll come back to me and say, oh, you did a really good job. So, and then lastly, at the bottom here of the newsletter, we are starting to put out our QOL Universal ORB Scalper. And what it is it helps you with your take away discretion when you're trading. So I will get rid of this. So pretty much what happens when you are trading, a lot of the times people are too busy drawing lines and not deciding what they want to do on a trade. This is not telling you, hey, buy. It's giving you probabilities. Okay, well, you can take a trade here. This is yesterday's Tesla. Tesla was a beautiful, clean trade yesterday, and it pretty much told you where the opening range was. This is a 1-minute chart that we're looking at right now. Told you to take a short. Here, hit the first profit level here, and then it told you to exit right here, and then potentially you could take a early long if you want, if it checks up with all your other data that you're looking at. And then it tells you another profit target here to hit, and it tells you when the volume is coming in to potentially exit. However, Tesla was pretty tenacious yesterday, right? But the best thing about this is in the lower right hand corner here, you have it identifies whatever time chart you're on. This scalper is set for a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, and a 15-minute chart. So when you change your time frame, this level here will change. So if you look at the range yesterday in a 4 minute, on the 1 minute, it was a $4.44 range. If I change it to a 15-minute, you will see it was a $10 range yesterday, right? So we go over this in the trade room, and I will show you how you can get access to this if you would like. So after you put your name and your email address in here, and you will be on the subscription list, free newsletter that we put out on Sundays. And then if you want to join the community here, you go and you click on the live trade desk here, and then it gives you all the different options. Down in the lower corner, you can join our Discord community for free. And in the Discord community, it'll pretty much give you to this page right here. And here are our main channels, the pre-market analysis. I put a link in here every day that brings you to where you are right now. I have a levels channel. This is all free. If you want me to cover levels for you, I'll be glad to do that. I do not cover any penny stocks. And then also another link here to give you other access to the upgrade if you want to come to the this is for the ORB Scalper that we're putting out right now. And then also if you want to get into the live trade room, that trade room, we are in there every day from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time every day. So that's about it for that. So let's get into economic data right now. If you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video for me. I appreciate it, all your help. Everything, by the way, on this channel is grown organically. I do not pay for advertisement. I've been putting out my videos. I started this last September, and I'm really hoping that people are getting some good use out of it. It's helped me become a better trader as well. When I'm teaching, I don't really know what I know until somebody asks me a question, and then I start teaching it. So Anyways, enough with that. Nothing on the dockets for today. Let's take a look. I know we have Fed speak tomorrow, FOMC meetings at 1 o'clock. After you have crude oil inventories, I'm sure people will be watching that. And then Friday, nothing else on the docket there. So let's get into things right now. Let's start with what we normally start with. I'm not even going to bother with the VIX. The VIX is flat right now, and crude oil is flat as well. We are on the ES right now, 15-minute chart. We are looking at some levels that we have to get through here. This 75.93, 75 level is a big level. If you can get through that level and then and yesterday's highs, of course, I think you can push towards the all-time highs at 76.93. On the downside here, we are kind of stepping a little bit higher here. I would say for, probably this key level is where the pre-market low is right now. If you lose that pre-market low, I think you could possibly come here and you can test last Friday's low down here at 74.79 level. I'm going to give that a little mark for everybody right there. And there you are. So could be range bound today. And, you just got to pay attention to what, everything is showing you right now. There's not a lot of data out there. So there could be a little bit of a consolidation period happening here. So you could just see this, up and down. I know that we had, some sell off a little bit last week towards the end of the week. But, you could just see right now we could be caught in this little range here. So watch your levels here. I don't see anything too earth shattering that's coming out today. However, the news can change instantly, right? So let's get over this SPY. The SPY is probably going to show us a little bit of the same thing. We are kind of, I would say this with the SPY right here, you're going to have to get above the high here from Friday in order to push higher for today. I'll even mark that. So it's going to be caught right here in between this point of control that was filled at 750.25 and 751.25. So it's going to be your line in the sand. If you pop and hold above it, you could take your longs and then possibly push into this open point of control at 757.70. On the downside here, I'm going to say yesterday's lows will probably be your line in the sand for the downside here. If you lose, actually that's not a horrible level. 747.14. If you lose that level, you could come into the close from last week. What was this close? Actually, this close was last Thursday, 744.77. And then you've got this May 15th high at 743.46. Below that, you have the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. 50 is sitting at 738.33, and the 20 is sitting at 740.79. Let's get into the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq here, Nasdaq looks a little weak to me. Let's just pan out a little bit more here. See, it's kind of, this, since we hit that 31,100 level, it's kind of like it was trying to push, sell off, trying to pop back, and you could see right now we're making lower highs and lower lows, right? So we did have a nice bounce here on Friday, and it tried to move back again yesterday, but you could see it kind of lost its steam a little bit there. So I would say right now, again, we are stuck in between could be stuck in between a range here. The 50-day moving average is sitting right here. Call it 29,584. Your 20-day moving average is sitting at 29,442. If you lose the 50-day moving average and you lose this June 12th low at 29,507.67, I think you're going to come down to this. You could come down to this Fibonacci level here of 76.4. that I have here at 29,231. Below that, we have an open point of control at 29,044.04. So on the upside, if you can regain this 20-day moving average, I think you could definitely push into those 30,545 level. Do I think all this is going to happen in one day? No, I'm just giving you levels to put on your charts. So if you're intraday trading, you can just see what's happening right now. So I would say I would not want to be long until you at least get above yesterday's highs. You can see right now we are below yesterday's lows. So, I mean, one trade that you could possibly put on your books right here is a break and retest. We broke that low of 29,770.24. If you pop up there, you could take a short on that side. But, the return on your trade there is really not that great. So I would just stay away from this personally. It does look a little bit on the weak side for me, though. Qs are going to show the same thing. You can see how the Qs rejected the 20-day moving average at 720.21 right now. On the downside here, it's important to hold the 711.10 level. If you lose that, we have this open point of control sitting at the 700. Call it a 700 level right there, you know, because you have this low right here that's also sitting right in between the 50. It's the same thing as the Nasdaq, right? So could be range bound today, could be doing a little consolidation. It looks kind of, you know, sloppy just when you think you're going. It just kicks you in the teeth. So anyways, let's get over and cover the Mag 7. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. We'll start off with NVIDIA. We're going to cover Tesla in a minute. NVIDIA is holding this 200-day moving average sitting at 191.35. It's going to be important for NVIDIA to get above this, call it 193.17 level. If you get above that level, I think you can push into the 195.62 level. However, there's definitely going to be some headwinds up here. You've got the 100-day moving average sitting at 197.05, where you could potentially get some resistance up there. On the downside here, maybe you get a little, if you lose the 200-day moving average, 188.88 is the level I have here. It's a March 16th high. If you lose that level, I've got a lower end regressional trend line sitting here at 183.26 for some more support. If you do get above that 100-day moving average, you can pop into that 199.34 level. However, it is a low from June 9th, and that could possibly be some headwinds for you also with some resistance. Let's get over and keep moving along. Apple's almost trying to get that all-time high here. We've got you know, a nice little wick in the morning here. You can see Apple stair-stepping higher. The one thing that bothers me is this speed zone that we talk about all the time. I think if Apple right now, you're probably your line in the sand is this wick right here that happened in pre-market 311.71. If you lose that, I think you could come back down here to this 303.73 level. On the upside, I don't have any upside levels, so your target, if you are pushing higher, you know, you could target that 317.40, which is the all-time high. So good chance that we get there this week, maybe even today. We'll see how Apple's moving right now. It's moving pretty strong right now. It's only a few dollars away from the all-time highs. So they may push the all-time highs and maybe push through it, and maybe it's a liquidity grab to sell off a little bit and take some profits. However, Apple definitely looks strong. You can't get in front of a moving train here, right? This is stair-stepping higher, very plain as day to see. Boom. So maybe be a little consolidation before you make a move one way or the other on Apple today. Meta here. Meta is going to be caught a little bit. You've got some headwinds up here at 616.85. It's the 100-day moving average. And then you could see right here, you're giving a little rejection this morning at 606.35. If you lose this midline regressional trend line at 598.17, I've got some support at 592.66. If you lose that, I think you come down to this 575.33, which is the 20-day moving average. You do have some support levels down there at 572.34. It's a high from June 23rd. You know, you could just see this big, you know, this big push up there. And so if you did, you know, you broke that level, and that would be an ideal break and retest to support right there, and then take a long again. So let's keep moving along. Google. Same thing on Google. Got to hold this 363.09 level. It's a March 30th low. I like that right now. You can push into this 373.60. It's June 16th high. If you do get through there, you'll probably get a little resistance up here with some supply at 378.26. On the downside, if you lose 363.09, you could come back down here to this 356.06 level. It is a low from June 18th. Also, it's sitting right above the 20-day moving average at 356.27. And then you have some other levels of support there at 355.39 and 352.83. Okay, we are moving to Amazon. Amazon has been kind of weird ever since this big wick that we had here last week. But you can see it's kind of moving higher here. We are kind of making new highs, right? New lows. So I would say your line in the sand is 245.73. If you can break and hold above that today, I wouldn't mind taking a long, and then possibly you can push into that 252.53 level. If you lose 244.16, you have the 20-day moving average at 239.76. You know, possibly you can get some support down here. Maybe this little 242.37 level. And if you lose the 20-day moving average, you got 235.84 right down below there. So upside, I would say upside here, 245.73. As long as you're above that, I don't mind the longs. Moving on to finally Microsoft out of the Mag 7, then we'll cover Tesla. We'll go over SpaceX a little bit too. Microsoft, which has been getting its teeth kicked in, it's trying to make a comeback here. We are above the 20-day moving average at 384.89. I do like that fact that it's above this regressional trend line. This is going to be your line in the sand for today. Above 390.02, I don't mind the longs. Below that, I think you pull back into this close. Where was this close? I think this close was last week sometime. 386.74, and then you have the 20-day at 384.89. Below that, you've got a 381.90, which is a June 12th low. If you lose 381.91, I don't really like anything. I mean, possibly you could give yourself a little support at 373.56. Not bad. Actually, it's a high and a low. Actually, this is not a bad level here if you do lose that. 374.39 if you lost the 381.90 level. If it keeps flushing though, and you lose 386.64, unfortunately, you got that 350 level. It's going to come back to. We are below the 100-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. The 50 is sitting at 406.67. The 100 is sitting at 414. Okay, we are done with the Mag 7 now. Let's get into, we'll do SpaceX real quick, and then we'll get into Tesla. SpaceX, we went over this yesterday. 165 was your level there, 157.01. I said that was the range, and it was right in a pretty good. So pretty easy levels to target right now. Right, not a lot of data, but it's respecting these levels right away. But you could see this 165.52 level is a big level. If you can get above that level, you could push that 168.35, and then I think above that 168.35, I think then you can make your way back to the 176.52 level. On the downside, though, very important, got to hold this 155 level. It's a low. It was a low from, what is that? A low from Thursday, I believe. 155. Got to hold that. If you lose that, you come back to the IPO open of 150. Below the 150, you've got 135. I have nothing below this. On the upside here, 168.35. That's going to be a line where if you can get above that low, you can pop up there. But you can see, this is a break and retest of a low here. So you could technically say that it tested it yesterday and sold off and then came down here. But if you do regain that 168.35, I think you can push back into that 176.52 level. Okay, let's get into Tesla. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. So we talked about this yesterday. I talked about this, a little gap up we had there on the open yesterday. It filled it like a champ, and then it didn't look back. Tesla was relentless yesterday. I spoke of this becoming a speed zone. When you have one-sided of either a sell or buying, it becomes a speed zone, right? Because you have people that are long covering and then combined taking new positions. So these new positions here, yesterday, once we got above the 50-day moving average, actually, I think I said at our pre-market yesterday, our line in the sand was like the 403 level. Yeah, I've got it right here, 403.51. Once you got above that level, look at how that responded beautifully. Got above that level, came back down here, and then it just popped, and then it just kept popping and popping, right? So fantastic. However, struggled at the 200-day moving average. So line in the sand today, people. As long as you're above 414.50, I don't mind the longs. This is a high from November of 2021. I've been talking about this level for months now, right? It's a big level here. As long as you're above that, I don't mind the longs. Even at the 50-day moving average, if we did flush down here, you could get a 407.07 level, which is not a bad long either. Upside, but you can see right here, we're caught in between this 414.50 and the 418.44, which is a 200-day moving average. So I like the longs if you're here at the 414.50 level. And then maybe you can get a, it also comes right in line with this regressional trend line here that I have from October of 2025. Upside here, if you push, you probably get some resistance into this 420.36. If you do get above this 420.36, I like our next level at 425.95. It's a Friday close of May 22nd. And then if you get above that, then you're retracing this whole entire move that happened on Friday. And then you get that 431.20 level. And then above that, your resistance up here, 435.46. It's a low from 527. On the downside, like I said, if you lose 414.50, I think you can take a short down here into the 407.70, have a tight stop above this, and then of course if you lose that 407.70, we then come back down here to our 20 and the 100-day moving average. The 20 is sitting at 399.28, and the 100 is sitting at 398.11. So anyways, Tesla was strong, nice little bounce back. It did not cover this entire speed zone right now. So I would say if you can get that long, watch this level on the long here, 320.36. You push into at least that 425.95 and then the 431.20. Okay, as far as what we're going to do for today, we're going to start with 425 calls expiring tomorrow on Tesla, and we're going to do the 415 puts that expire tomorrow on Tesla. I am not trading SpaceX right now. SpaceX spreads are too inconsistent. They start off at a 10-cent spread, and then I found when you get into a trade, it widens up to sometimes 15 to 20-cent spread. So still inconsistent, so we're still feeling that out. Anyways, let's go. Lastly, before we move on and close it up for today, we're going to go back over this opening range trade here, indicator, this scalper here that we've been putting out, and now it is on the market for everybody to get if they want it. So here's a 1-minute chart, as I spoke of earlier in the channel, in the video here. It plots everything out for you. It gives you the opening range high, the opening range low. It gives you the midpoint of that range. It gives you the total of that range, $4.44. It then gives you a rating, a range quality, right? So if you have a bad 0 to 100, and 92 is fantastic. That means it's a good quality. It means it's good volume. And then it'll rate your long grade, right? So right now it's at a C. Yesterday morning when this came about here, this grade here was A, and it was like an A85 or A90. And then you can see on the short, so it'll give you a grade for both the long and the short. So you can see right now, even though it's pre-market, so we don't pay too much attention to this, but it's telling you a short right now. So you could just, if you go and look at the market here, it's telling you, giving you a grade A short from the level that it's at right now. And then it's just telling you right now the state right now, it's not in session here, or it tells you if you have a trade in or not, right? So like, right here, it's identifying you can take an early long. And then this right here, it states here, no active trade. It would have been saying active trade, all right? So basically, it's telling you that if you did take a trade, it's not really telling you to exit yet, right? And so here, this yellow box, or this yellow box here, is telling you when volume is picking up and it's on the reverse side of your trade, right? So then it's telling you should possibly think about curving your total size and exiting the trade as well. And then on this code right here, all of this is plotted for you. You don't have to scramble around while the market's open. It plots your high range, your low range, gives you a potential price target on the downside, a first one, a second price target, as it does same thing on the upside. You can do this on the 1-minute chart. You can do it on the 2-minute chart. Your specs will change on the 2-minute chart. You can do it all the way up to the 15-minute chart. Right, and you can see as of yesterday, the 15-minute chart, it worked like a champ as well. So if you're comfortable being in trades for a long time, which I am not, you go to a 15-minute chart, and then you have to do your data, and you find out how well this data works for you. You can see yesterday it was as clean as it possibly could be yesterday, right? Gave you your breaker, your range, or your 15-minute. You can see our range now widened because it's a 15-minute, right? So we had a $10. A 15-minute range, right? Give you a range quality, gives you a long quality, a short quality, and it gives you a bias, right? So it's still giving you a long bias on the 15-minute, right? But you can see right here, no active trade, out of session, and it tells you your time frame, etc. down below. So if you want to get access to that, just go to your QOLtrading.com and then click on the trading room, and then all the access is available for you there. So aside from that, that's going to be it for today. If I don't see you in the trade room, I'll see everybody tomorrow. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this